right, well, this video we're covering Chapter 8, titled Mandated Disclosures, and there are 7 questions. I will not utilize the board at all during this session. It'll be mainly just narrative information that I'll go over. Mandated disclosures. These are the things as a licensee that you have to disclose during the course of a transaction. Okay, it's as simple as that. Let's start out. 1, agency disclosure. Disclosure of the agency relationship. So as a licensee in other states, they have to disclose, I'm an agent, or a sub-agent, or whatever that agency relationship is. You have to tell your client that's what your relationship is. B, dual agency is not allowed unless all parties agree to it. We learned that from Chapter 8. Roman numeral 2, property disclosure. Let's go to A1. A seller has the duty to discover and disclose any known latent defects that threaten personal safety or structural soundness. The seller has had whatever repairs done or will know things that are most likely know all the things that are wrong with the home. That's their responsibility. Well, sometimes they don't know these things. It's not they aren't engineers, and they don't understand the intricacies of some of these problems that might occur. So what they do is we ask them to do, to the best of their ability, all known problems with a property. We list a property, we give them a 2 or 3 page document that's called the seller's disclosure, and they disclose everything they know about the property. So that's their responsibility. That's a disclosure responsibility to the seller. Go to 3. Some states require a seller of a residential property to provide a property condition report for all prospective buyers. That's what I'm referring to. In Oklahoma, there is a state law that says you will provide to a prospective purchaser a seller's disclosure. All right, go to the next page. Top of page 98, C1. Strict liability. Owner is responsible to the injured party without excuse. In other words, they knew it. They lived with it. They may have even been told that they have some kind of a problem. That means they have strict liability. They can't very well say, well, gosh, I didn't know, or maybe this happened, they didn't tell me. There's some reporting that they knew of or something like that would provide a strict liability scenario for in whatever particular problem there was. Jump down to D, 3D. In 2001 and 2002, the Brownfield Revitalization Environmental Resource Restoration Act and subsequent Small Business Liability Relief and Brownsfield Revitalization Act were enacted to further reduce the risk of innocent landowners who purchase once environmentally contaminated real estate. This legislation helped to rejuvenate many deserted, dysfunctional, and derelict toxic industrial sites by diminishing the innocent landowners' liability exposure and providing them with the opportunity to expense cleanup costs rather than capitalize them. I know that's wordy. Just know the Brownfield Revitalization Environmental Resource Act, know the dates, and to help it's designed, or it was legislation to help rejuvenate many of these defunct and derelict toxic waste sites. That's it. Go to D. This is a very important residential disclosure that we have. Listing broker and selling broker, if a subagent, must inform the seller or leaseor of their obligations for environmental disclosures under the Residential Lead-Based Paint Hazard Reduction Act of 1992 for dwellings built prior to 1978. We've discussed this in our disclosure back a couple chapters ago, that if you have a house built before 1978, they have to fill out a document. That document states whether they know they have it. And then if it's built before 1978, as a licensee, you're supposed to give them that pamphlet that says, here are the dangers of lead-based paint. If you find lead-based paint in the home, you have a right to say, yes, I want to further purchase this property, or no, I found that it has lead-based paint. I would prefer not to buy this property. So it gives you an out. You have that within the first 10 days. Oklahoma has a state license contract, or rather a state contract, that it's not mandated, but the licensee can use. There's a lot of brokers that have adopted the state contract, And within that contract, it gives you this 10-day right to inspect. And if you find any problems with the property, then that allows you to get your earnest money back and go on and pursue another property. Go to 99E, material facts for sellers' agents to include. Let me explain what material is. A material fact, if known, pretty much says this. If you would have known this information as a purchaser, would you have changed your mind on whether or not to purchase that property? That's a material fact. Here are some examples. F, material facts for buyers, or rather, let's back up. For sellers, disclosure of all offers. 2, buyer's ability to offer a higher price. 3, disclosing names of prospective buyers as well as any relationship, such as buyers being related to the licensee. And 4, disclosure of known material defects in the property. Okay, those are all material facts for the agent, seller's agent to include. On the buyer side, material facts for the buyer are 1, disclosing property deficiencies. 2, disclosing provisions of the offer to purchase that are not favorable to the buyer. 3, recommending the lowest price that the buyer should offer regardless of the list price. And then 4, disclosing how long the property has been listed. So those are material facts for a seller to say yes or no on a house or a property. And then on F, it's the buyer's side. Okay, that was a short chapter. So that concludes chapter 8, mandated disclosures.